Upgrade 100. Live now. Install the best version of you.
Please welcome to the stage, Flavilla Fongang.
Thank you.
Okay. Looking ravishing.
Hi.
You're making me look bad. You look so good,
oh
yeah.
Oh, gosh, look at this. There's two flirts in the room. How are we going to handle that?
The shoes.
I'm
The
French.
shoes.
Yes. This
Yes.
is my
Strike a
catwalk.
pose. Let me see a pose. Let me see a turn. Let me see an over the shoulder.
You know, I could have been a model, but I'm too short. That's
You
why I
are a
cheat and I
model.
wear
You
heels.
are a model.
How's everybody doing? I can't hear you. How's everybody doing? Yes. So far, so good. Fantastic. It's about to get better. You have another French person in the room, so if you don't understand me, please raise your hand, and I know when I need to start speaking English again. So today, we're going to start talking about neuromarketing. I want to make sure we see the same thing. So this is, yes, I'm going to come back, neuromarketing. So anybody heard about neuromarketing? Okay, good. That's fantastic. So I'm going to tell you something about myself. Are you interested in finding out about myself? Yes, fantastic. So as you can hear from my accent, I'm French, and I moved to London 17 years ago, and I couldn't speak a word of English. And I wanted to, I came to learn and study marketing and business development, and I fell in love with the city. You know, I always say it's important to know who you surround yourself with. And 17 years later, I'm still in London. So I worked in in the oil and gas industry. I worked in the fashion industry. I worked in luxury. So I've kind of, I'm a bit of a chameleon. I changed, and now I run an agency. And we do have lots of fun doing what we do because we choose our clients very carefully and we really, really love. So as you can see me, I do a lot of public speaking, and I'm also been on BBC, and that's something that I really enjoy. So that's me. They told me to keep an eye. So one thing, the reason why we decided to focus as an agency in the tech space is because the numbers are scary. 3 out of 100 tech companies will only make it to the 5th year. And that's very scary when you think about it. There's always a disconnect. There's always something that is not going right that we need to change. So I want to talk about neuromarketing, and that's really relevant to stay in the game and be good at what you do. So this is a bit like me, you know, the journey with my clients is a bit of a smile. I like to have fun. I don't take myself very seriously, but I take my work very seriously. And if you check out what I do online on my website or anything, we were really good. So, I'm French, so I'm not scared of bragging. That's what we're really good at. And at the same time, if they can obviously, it's important that they make a profit. And that's very important. So having fun at the same time, working really hard for their benefit. So I wanted to take you back through time if you are interested. Is that good? Yes? Okay. So I'm going to take a story, a brand that everybody knows, which is Nike. So if you think about the 1950s, when they launched their product in terms of communication with an audience, it was very much about how. How do you use the product? For example, the introduction of the fridge or the microwave. And then from that point when choices, people wanted to have personalization, they wanted to have more than one pair of trainers. So things have evolved. Then after that, there was a bit, especially in the industrialization, there was a bit of a wake-up call. Nobody wanted to wear shoes made by little kids in China or in Africa, and they had to do something about it. So that's where everybody heard about Simon Sinek. Yes, the why, start with why, which is very important. That's where companies started to focus on their positioning. Why do we do what we do? What really drives us? I think they wanted to really build an emotional intelligence, emotional connection with their audience, and talking about the purpose instead of the shoes, because almost the product became, talking about the product became irrelevant. If you look at car advertising, they don't talk about how fast it goes. They talk about the experience, how it makes you feel. And we're in a new era. And if you just remember what the previous talk was about, it was about community and social media. This is a great slide. Definitely take a photo of that. And that's where we are. If you think about the relationship with your audience or your clients, it's not so much a client, it's now a community. And you can see, I've shown you how Nike has evolved. People now run together, people wear the same clothes. It's a family, and they're very loyal to their brand. What just happened? So I went a bit too fast. So this is the amount of money either spent and also wasted in Europe in terms of marketing spend. This is crazy. And I think what makes it even harder is because people don't know what they want. This is the biggest problem. You ask your clients, what do you want? and say, this is what I want, but actually it means something completely different. And that's why neuromarketing is so relevant, because you can't cheat your brain, as I'm going to show you, our subconscious mind has a big impact in what we do. Does it make sense so far? You with me? Yeah. So what is neuromarketing? Neuromarketing is basically the science of human decision. What makes us choose a product A instead of a product B? And that's very simple. So using biometrics, neurometrics, and psychometrics. I'm not going to go into the scientific, because I'm not a scientist whatsoever. I'm going to keep it very simple and straightforward, and how you can apply it. I think that's what I want you. So come, leave this room and feel like, yes, I know actually how I can apply it for myself. So you can apply neuromarketing in the 3 stages of your business. Obviously, you need to have a strong brand strategy. When you have your strong brand strategy that distinguishes yourself against your competition, your design needs to be appealing. So when you choose your color, your font, the tone of voice, everything related to your brand has to align with your brand strategy. So if you say you're going to be luxury, don't present yourself as cheap. And obviously the last part, which is marketing, is how you communicate with your audience. What do you say? What do you tell them? I like the fact that everybody's taking screenshots. Please make sure you tag me on Twitter if you're using Twitter. So we're going to do a little game. I like to keep it very interactive. Are you ready to play? Okay, fantastic. You all seated. Usually I get people to stand up, but I don't want to create any health and safety issue. So you can stay with me. So basically we're going to play with your right arm and your right leg. So I want you with your right hand, okay, to draw the number 6 in the air. I'm watching you, so you're going to have to do it. Yes. Well done so far. And with your right leg, carry on. It's an exercise. If you have an exercise to do, that's perfect. And with your right leg, I want you to turn the other side clockwise. Yes. At the same time, you see I'm doing with heels, so you can do it. What's going on? It's mind-boggling. Do you think you're in control of yourself? Raise your hand if you think you're in control of yourself. Good on you to think that. So now I will tell you a story. I was raised by a single mother. I was raised in Paris, but I wasn't raised in the fancy and luxury part of Paris. I was raised in the poor side, and I think my mom was a very ambitious, strong woman, and she raised us to be really strong and rely on ourselves. And so I had never been close to my father. The last time I saw my father, I was actually unborn, and I saw him when I was then actually 3 years old. So the funniest thing is I reconnected with him because I'm writing a book, just to have this side of his story. And I realized how much I have inside me is DNA. If you look at your parents, you say, I start looking like my mom, I start looking like my father. So how much how much do we think we're in control? And I'm not going to talk too much about DNA because that's another subject. We're going to stick to neuromarketing. But I wanted to show you that how much it is hard to actually know why we make those decisions. So this is how the brain works. The brain is divided in 3 sections. You have the neurocortex, the limbic system, and the reptilian brain. Anybody heard of that? Okay. So the neurocortex, which is also called the new brain, is your rational brain. This is what you're using right now. When you're learning new skills, you're using this part of your brain. When you're trying to question your existence, should I believe in God? Does God exist? Are there emotions? All sort of things that you may think that you want to question. Is religion relevant? All sort of things. This is the neurocortex that you are using as this part of the brain. The second one, which is the limbic system, which is your emotional brain. You either decide if you love me on stage, or when you fall in love, or when you get a breakup. That's the part of the brain that controls your behavior, your emotions, and how you feel. And the last one is the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain is I like to call it the lazy brain, because this is the brain that wants you to keep you alive. So what it does, it wants you to do as less as possible, so you can survive and be on Earth. So you will face yourself in a situation where you can decide to fight or flight. Again, as I explained, it will also control your body viral functions. So everything to do with staying alive, that's its job. So this is my question now. Which part of the brain do you think has the most control? Is it the reptilian brain? Raise your hand. Okay. Is it the limbic system? Raise your hand. Is it the neurocortex? Raise your hand. Not everybody's playing. I don't see many hands up. You guys. So we're going to play another game. You ready? Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is to simply read out the color, not the word. Yes? So pink, gray, everybody, come on. I can't hear you. Well done. That's A plus. You ready to do it again? Faster? Okay. My ears are burning. Ugh. What's going on? That's minus C. Good try. It's hard, isn't it? This is what's happening in your brain right now. You're going through what we call a brain conflict. What you know, most of the time, the decisions that we make are made on autopilot. We make decisions because of what we know of previous situations. So if you know that yellow is yellow, why is it written in a different color? So now you have to teach your brain to think differently, and that's why it's so difficult. Yes? Does it make sense? Fantastic. So far, so good. Learning new stuff. I like it. So the reptilian brain has the biggest impact on your decision process, followed by the limbic system. Obviously, you make decisions on your emotion as well, but first, the reptilian brain is the most important because you want to avoid any pain, you want to avoid making any mistake, you want to stay alive. And I'm going to show you what are the 6 stimuli that you can use when you're creating a campaign, when you're communicating with your audience, how you can do it effectively. Again, you don't have to use them all, but you can use as many as you can, and the more effective it is. What I've put in this in my slides, my next slides, example related to technology, but you can find there's more examples that I have on our website related to other brands, which are also really good. So the first element of to stimulate the reptilian brain is the pain. You know, when you talk to your audience, and I see it very often, when I read that website, companies will talk about themselves. We do this, we do that. Nobody cares about you. Yes? They care about, do you understand my pain, what I'm going through? Then after that, you show the contrast. We're going to go through point by point and then demonstrate the gain, tangible. Don't talk about, again, the process of the system. Talk about what is the result that people get when they use your product. And then again, keep the most important information at the beginning and at the end. Because we have a short attention span. So all the information I'm giving you right now, you're probably not going to remember. So please feel free to email me if you're interested in having a copy of this presentation. And obviously, visual and emotion. First part. I'll tell you a story. Do you like stories? Yes? Okay. So I think I was 2 years in London, and I fell in love with a British guy. I fell in love with him, and we had a bit of a hard time. And I decided to take a plane and go to see my mom. That's the first thing you do. You're upset, you go to see your mom. And I arrived in Victoria Station, and I needed to take the plane to Luton Airport. Obviously, I'm really not good with timing, and I missed the last coach. Again, I was on a budget. I missed the last coach to Luton Airport. So what do I do? What do I do? And I go to a black cab and say, listen, I'm trying to get to Luton Airport. I have to catch a train to Paris tonight. What can I do? Say, well, you can definitely jump on a cab. I'll take you there. Obviously, out of emotion, I didn't think this through. I jump in the car. And London is a big city. You've been to London, right? Yes, London is a big city. So I try to imagine how much that cab fare cost me for a ticket on EasyJet, which was at 30 pounds. 80 pounds. 80 pounds. But again, it was just out of emotion. And that's the biggest, you think about the biggest pain, this is an example of Uber. When you try to order a taxi, it's always how much is it going to cost me? How long is it going to get there? And how long is it going to take me to get to the destination? And obviously, if you look at this visual, it might come across as very simple, but it was very effective. And I'm going to show you why. And you can see here, you heard about the heat map. A heat map shows you basically where your visitors look or hover their mouse on your website. So you can see most of the visitors hover map around the lady, and they did it very cleverly because they put their call to action next to it. Again, the emotion here was the pain of how much it's going to cost me, how long it's going to take me to get there. And again, you see the opposite in terms of me. I'm going to look at this girl. She looks happy. I want to feel like her. Don't have to worry how much it's going to cost me. Does it make sense? Yes? Fantastic. Again, tangible. Tangible comes down to, again, this is an example of a simple advertisement done by Apple. Apple doesn't barely focus on the functionalities of their product. They explain how it feels to use it. Again, another example, they presented their new batch, their new iPhone, which has a long live battery, which is the most painful thing when you have a phone, is always having a charger, and obviously that works really well. One single thing, remember, when you are advertising or promoting a brand, keep it simple. Don't give more than 3 elements. Three is a magic number, except in a relationship. You should know that. Yeah, man. So yes, so tangible, again, you can use other things. I'm going to give you a few examples. I can be providing graphics, obviously not done by you, but by experts. It can be also obviously video testimonials from your clients and photos. Anything that will help reassure the reptilian brain that you are a safe bet. Stripe did again same thing. PR works really well. When you're on stage, there's a way to showcase that you're an expert in whatever you do. Don't be afraid. Nowadays with social media, as I explained, everybody can be an influencer. Don't be afraid to create your own network. Everything can happen. Anybody remember that commercial? That was a long time ago. It was from Apple. So when Apple launched a product, they showcased exactly which one do you want to be? Which one do you want to look like? Do you want to look like the cool guy, which is a Mac product, or do you want to look like the guy who looks a bit lost, like an IT guy? And that worked really, really well. When you think about people who buy Apple products, they want to look cool. They want to spend time at Starbucks coffee. And yeah, it works for them. They're a young crowd. They are the tech people. Anybody using Monzo? Heard of Monzo? So Monzo, it's a new card, a fintech company who has been created and different from the traditional banking system, which allow you to monitor better your money, but also if you are traveling abroad. Again, I'm not advertising for Monzo, but it's very good. I use it myself. But again, it can be very simple to showcase what is the biggest pain right now for your audience and how you're communicating to showcase that you are better than them. And that's very important. So that's a very simple way you can do as well, contrast. Again, I keep saying that because when I work with a lot of technology companies and explain that your communication should be focused on convenience. What is the convenience that you are bringing to your audience? Is it time? You're saving time, or are you giving them time? Are you providing more money? What is it? When you understand that, you can better communicate. We'll talk about the stimuli. Again, I'm not going to go over too much, but it's very simple. Your most important information when you communicate should be at the beginning, but again at the end. So it's about the pain for your clients, and then you can have a call to action at the end. Keep it simple as much as possible. Again, emotion, we talk about the limbic system, and part of obviously triggering the reptilian brain is also using emotion. If you think about Airbnb, they never focus on the element of you can get the hotel rooms or whatever. They talked about how it makes people feel. They created experiences around the brand, and that's what this is about. But the funniest thing, the emotions that work the most are the negative emotions. People are more receptive to negative emotions. This is a campaign that was done by Uber in Canada, obviously for fatality, and it showcased that obviously they go further than just providing cab services, but also understanding the pains that men, women might go through, mother may go through when they lose a child. So yeah, so interestingly, negative emotions trigger a better impact. Again, I keep using visuals, speak 1,000 words. It's so important. This is a campaign done by Samsung. Again, I'm giving you big brand names, which are also relevant. If you think about it, this is, if you can listen to your earphones and have the sound of your favorite artist in your ear, that's such a clever way to showcase how good your product is. Yes? And you don't have to say it, you can just demonstrate it in a very creative way, which works for it. Does it make sense? Fantastic. So I want you to finish up, because we're on time, and I'm on time, really good. I want you to finish up with this very important keyword when you think about what you're communicating to your audience. It's convenience. What is the convenience that you are providing? What is the pains that you are solving when you communicate to your audience? I always use if you heard about the Pareto is used in so many ways, but when it comes to communication, it should be 80-20. 80 about your audience and only 20 about what you do. The more you explain to your customers how much you understand their pain and how you are the only one who can solve them in a very specific manner, the more you attract them. And that, trust me, will always work. So provide something better while emphasizing on convenience will make you remarkable. So that's it. Thank you very much.